Good evening. Welcome to the 7th Annual OTSL Awards. I'm Nisa Petrilli.
I'm Jay Kaplan.
I'm David Shepard.
I'm Sean Roman.
And I'm Steve Ferguson.
Tonight, we'll take a look back at everything in the world of sports from 2013. If you put it up on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, chances are it made it onto this show. Presenting our first award is our very own Rookie of the Year, Dave Shepard.
The new kid on the block usually tends to stay in the background and just tries to blend in. Our nominees for the Baby New Year Award for Rookie of the Year weren't afraid to stand out.
Winston stays on his feet, launches one in a single coverage, and it is caught!
Winston's got an open path. Touchdown, Florida State.
Rook can run.
Oh, the big Rook can run. That is a big back and wheels on.
Dump that one, but hey, 2-2. Lillard, that's a 3. And what do you do with a guy like that?
And a high fly ball into deep left center. Alabama Cuba has arrived. Second is Simmons, and a great throw to third.
And the winner is Jameis Winston.
Now that Jameis Winston's court case is over, let's look at the reality of what he's done on the field, which has been phenomenal. We thought Johnny Manziel was great last year. How about this guy? He may lead his team to a national championship. I've never seen a quarterback quite as good as him.
I think it's disgraceful that Jameis Winston is nominated for anything. He's probably going to win the Heisman. I read the girl who accused him of sexual assault statement, handwritten to the police on the night it happened. I kept telling him to get off me. He wouldn't. He started having sex with me. And just the fact that he had other players with him to corroborate his story got him out of this. I think it's sickening. I don't nominate him or think he's... I don't think he should win anything.
I see your point, and I totally understand what you're saying, but on the field, you just can't take away from what this guy accomplished this year. For a true freshman, I've never seen anything like this in college football.
I mean, great numbers, Dave. 68% completions, 38 touchdowns through the air, 4 on the ground, only 10 picks. Amazing stuff for a true freshman.
And remember, he's replacing the #1 drafted QB, and they're undefeated, far and away the best team. Can't make an argument, Jameis Winston.
So I went to work the other day wearing 2 different colored socks. The only one who noticed my embarrassment was me. Our nominees for the Mark Sanchez Butt Fumble Award for 2013's most embarrassing moment in sports had theirs witnessed by millions.
Jack on the runner, they pick him off!
Oh, boy.
This game is over!
No way can this happen.
Run back by Trevathan for a pick six.
Ball went out the back of the end zone. It is a touchback.
You quarterbacks, you get all the good-looking women. What a beautiful woman. Wow. AJ's doing... Whoa.
Here's something you don't see every day. And watch Phillips make the tag face first into Phillips' backside.
And the winner is Brent Musburger.
I thought this was absolutely hysterical. I was watching the game, and if you pause it, it was 14-0 at the time. Brett had to do something to make it somewhat interesting. And he goes, whoa, hey. Well, but he really did call him and AJ's mother beautiful women, so I think actually the press made a bigger deal about it than it actually was.
Now, I thought it was actually kind of bizarre. Here's a man who's probably 70 years old, and he's drooling all over this woman. He made her a star that night on the air.
Yes.
He absolutely did.
Yeah, he was kind of like a kid in a candy store, and it got a little weird. It definitely got a little weird.
I saw the creepy old man living next door.
Yeah.
Whoa! Brent Musburger, I'm sorry, guys. No. I remember Brent Musburger in his whole "you are looking live." All I can see when he's focusing on Catherine Webb is, "you're looking live at Catherine Webb, AJ McCarron's girlfriend." It was hilarious.
No, Colton Wong was at the zenith of his professional career, and he blew it. Listen, the priest would have blown his you-know-what against his
Hey, Steve, you know, I have quite a bit of experience in being upset.
Really? How so?
Every time I watch the Knicks, when they take the court, I get pretty upset.
The victims of our nominees for the Antacid Award for the biggest upset of 2013 feel exactly the same way.
Marshall drills it. Marshall keeps it, tries to get around the edge. Tips it out. It's caught by Sammy Coates.
Davis! Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back! Auburn's going to win the football game!
Coleman. Up and down! Oh, no! He
through. Throwing across his body, and that is intercepted. Kick is on its way, and it looks good. An astonishing end to what is arguably the biggest upset in Wimbledon men's history.
And the winner is Florida Gulf Coast.
Guys, no disrespect. It can't be this team because they lost in the Sweet 16. We're talking about a Super Bowl winning team. Nobody gave them a shot. It was a Hail Mary play. I got to go with Jacoby. I got to go with Mr. Baltimore, Raven himself.
I got to disagree with you, Dave. I mean, first time they ever go to the dance and they become the first 15 seed to go to the Sweet 16. I'm sorry, Dunk City is deserving of this.
Georgetown never gets upset.
I agree with Jay. Florida Gulf Coast, it was crazy. We were all like, what is going on here? Definitely.
You know, that's a good one, but like I'm looking at that Broncos-Patriots game. I couldn't believe they were up 24-0 and blew that game to the Patriots, a team we all despise.
I'm going off the list. You had the United States beating New Zealand, coming back in yacht racing of catamarans from an 8-1 victory. Nothing like it has ever been seen in the 162-year history of that race. In New Zealand, that's kind of like their Super Bowl.
Right.
Like they only have 5 million people, 2 million are watching it on TV. And the U.S. actually, they got caught cheating and they got penalized, but they still were able to come from way back.
Ira appreciates you doing that.
Yeah, that's that one was for you, Ira.
2013 was not an easy year for some in sports. We'd like to take a moment to send these people a Christmas wish in the hope that 2014 will bring them better luck and success. As head of the table, I'm going to lead off. My wish for better luck next year goes to my alma mater, the Florida Gators. Their 4-8 record is their worst record and only losing season since 1979. It was a frustrating, difficult season in which they were decimated by injuries to key positions, including quarterback. It was a humbling season for a team that's accustomed to being one of the top SEC teams every year. But I have a feeling they'll bounce back next year, and I'm glad they decided to stick with head coach Will Muschamp. Better luck next year, Gators. I've got faith in you to turn things around.
When you have Justin Timberlake playing horse with you after a win against the two-time defending champions, the Miami Heat, you know you're doing something outstanding. But you know what? You got to keep something in mind. This guy played for Fresno State. That might as well be France State. And quick, name another great player from there. I can't think of anybody. I don't know if anybody can think of anybody in this room. We know that he was an all-star. He was an all-NBA defender. He was the most improved player in the association. But there was one thing that escaped him. One thing that he's missing. And that is an NBA championship. And you know what to lose a great player? It's an NBA championship. He's a great person. He plays for a great franchise. And that whole community is starving for one NBA championship. They haven't had one in their professional existence. And so you were one layup away. You just had to guard LeBron James a little bit more front side. We won't go there. That's for another day. But Paul George, you deserve it. Better luck next year.
Fragile, brittle, injury-prone. Words an elite athlete never wants to hear whispered regarding them. Words that are being applied by some to Chicago Bulls guard Derrick Rose. A 2011 derailed by a torn ACL in his left knee, and now a 2013 undone by a torn meniscus in his right. When healthy, Rose is one of the association's best, a former MVP and a perennial all-star who averages 21.7 assists and highlights galore. It's my Christmas wish that by next season, All-Star game, Rose is back at the top of his game, thrilling basketball fans in Chicago and everywhere else.
It's a super sports year coming up for the United States national teams. Last go around, Team USA got the silver in hockey in Vancouver, losing in overtime to the Canadians. In Russia, we got a deep talent pool. Huge expectations. Biggest question is the number one goalie, Ryan Miller or Jonathan Quick. Regardless, I'm wishing and expecting gold. In the World Cup, the United States has their deepest team too, but their draw is exceptionally difficult. Ghana, who knocked out the USA twice, is their first game, and that's the easy part. Then they got to play Portugal and Germany, who are both predicted to advance. So this year, it's my wish that hockey brings us home the gold, and in soccer, that we get out of the grouping.
There's no sport more maddening than to evaluate talent in baseball. Who will be the next superstar or the next enigmatic player? It's a game where Hall of Famers usually succeed less than 3 out of 10 times. Some thrive right away, while others take 3 to 5 years to develop. Mets first baseman Ike Davis is one of the latter. Illness, injuries, and inconsistency have put his career in a quandary. Many Met fans in the front office have grown weary of waiting. Ike Davis has teased us with his talent, mashing 51 homers in 2 of his 4 years, then baffled us in 2 other years. To tell the truth, I'd like to see the real Ike Davis stand up, and I hope he's with the 2014 Mets turning their fortunes around, or the consequences could be ours for many years to follow.
Now that I have a family, I feel just like a head coach. I have to coordinate schedules, deal with crybabies, and I'm constantly dealing with shit. Our nominees for the Head of the Table Award for 2013's Best Coach or Manager put up with all of that and still managed to lead their teams to postseason success. But I bet they didn't have to deal with diapers.
We're not that destination that's off so far in the map, or everybody puts the first name in their no trade clause, and I'm not going there. We've got people that are calling us now.
A unique set of circumstances took place to come back here to the Red Sox. To see it culminate in this tonight, I can tell you this, last October we probably didn't know we'd be sitting here.
I think more than anything else about college is you get to mold them as people. You get to see them grow up and mature. You get them to go on and you see them have children.
Auburn's a great place. Auburn's a place that expects to win championships. When I got hired, I just knew it was a matter of time. Our players have done an excellent job to put us in this position.
And the winner is Clint Hurdle.
No disrespect to Clint Hurdle, okay, guys, but I'm sorry. How does the guy who leads a team from worst to the first, to being chumps, to being champs, John Farrell, manager of the Boston Red Sox, how does he not win this award?
I think out of all the qualified candidates we have, he is least deserving of winning this award. I could be more in ascension with what Jay just said. You got to give it to Mr. Skipper for the Red Sox.
One more off the list for me. I think he shouldn't have won, but he should have been nominated. Urban Meyer for bringing Ohio State back from an 8-8 season. All right, they lost to Michigan State, but he's got that program on a track where Michigan doesn't have a chance anymore to win the big game.
Come on, Clint Hurdle, I mean, look what he did for the Pirates. My God, the first time in 21 years they were in the playoffs. They hadn't been relative in like 2 decades already.
About time.
Well, I don't know how Eric Spoelstra's not on this list.
Second year in a row.
Come on.
Spoelstra.
Sort of like give the ball to Michael, you know? Same concept.
Give the ball to LeBron.
The nominees for our Grinch Award for the biggest jerk of 2013 bring to mind the song of the same name. The 3 best words that best describe them are as follows: stink, stank, stunk.
Prosecutors laid out the case against him. 6 charges in all, including the murder of his associate and semi-pro football player, Odin Lloyd.
The Dolphins suspended Incognito yesterday for allegedly harassing and bullying teammate Jonathan Martin over 2 seasons.
Maybe you shouldn't use your number for your iPad password.
This is too late. I view this situation as one big lie. I mean, it's just this mythic, perfect story.
Yes.
And it wasn't true.
Milwaukee's Ryan Braun, a former league MVP, has finally admitted to using banned substances after being suspended for 65 games.
I think he took the easy way out by releasing a statement.
And the winner is Aaron Hernandez.
I mean, you really have to give this award to Aaron Hernandez. Murder kind of trumps everything else.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, listen, you can't knock that argument. But what I will say is this. You look at the nominees we have. Hernandez, the Patriots, are still the Patriots. Look at the sport of cycling. Now it's under the cloud, the dark umbrella of Lance Armstrong. It has to be Lance Armstrong, guys.
You know what? I understand where you're coming from, but, you guys, I was talking to Ira before we went on the air to do this, and he literally said to me, his exact words were, I was trying to somehow make this funny, but you can't. Murder trumps everything. And he's right. Any other year, guys, Incognito wins this award. Hernandez wins because murder trumps everything.
I mean, you said it perfectly, Jay. Incognito, which, by the way, isn't incognito anymore for what he's done.
They're 7-6, guys.
Should be winning this award, but you got to give it to Aaron Hernandez.
I don't think you can, because jerk is like, when you call it murder or jerk, it should have its own category. I think as far as this category, the guy who fought Paulie Malignaggi and the Barclays Center, he was so funny. There was a big build-up, traditional boxing, Adrian Broner. They had a same ex-girlfriend, so when they're doing the interview at the end, they ask him, okay, do you want to kill all that? He goes, well, I came here, I took his title, and I took his girl. Good night, everybody. Tonight, we honor a legendary Yankee, a man whose career speaks for itself.
We just wish that he'd shut the hell up. We, at On the Sports Line, salute Alex Rodriguez, 2013 season by making him our first inductee into the OTSL Hall of Shame.
Now, Dave, the seeds of this award, I think, were set years ago when he gave that interview with his wife Cynthia he had at the time and Katie Couric, and then he started to deny using the performance-enhancing drugs because he thought he would never get caught. Where did it go from there?
Well, the problem is he thinks too much and he gets caught too much. So here's what you have. You have 56, you have 54, 49, 48, 47. All 6 of those numbers surpassed Miguel Cabrera's best season for home runs, 44 this year, 44 last year. Those 2 years, Miguel Cabrera won MVP. Take into account his highest salaries, $30 million. We look at the great shortstop before him, preceding him, Cal Ripken Jr. He made $6.85 million, his highest max season. Now, Cal Ripken, only 2 people in the history of the game have been elected with a higher percentage than Cal Ripken's 98.75. The problem is we're going to remember A-Rod for those 211 games because Bud Selig is kicking him out. Trying to get rid of him for a small duration. That's the problem. We remember him for the 211. We should remember him for those first 2 series of numbers, and you know that.
I just thought we never remember him from coming through in the clutch.
Before we continue with our awards, we'd like to take a moment and pay tribute to some of the sports figures we lost this year.
Has this ever happened to you?
The game's over, Jay. Let's go.
Then the deafening cheers that you hear from the parking lot.
You make it to your car, and just then you listen to the radio, the great announcement, and you miss the play.
Greatest one ever. Sound familiar? Miami Heat fans?
And here are the nominees for our Shiny Ornament Award for the best play of 2013.
4th and 18. 3-man rush. Let's it go.
Just attack the basket. James catches, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Bases loaded. 2 out. Hard hit into right. Back On the way. No, returned by Chris Davis. Davis goes left. Davis gets a block. Davis has another block. Chris Davis. No flags. Touchdown. Auburn. An answered prayer.
And the winner is the Auburn Tigers for their game-winning 100-yard kickoff field goal missed return.
Dave, 109 yards. It's a dang record. Get it right.
I'll go with my elder on this one. I'll quote you.
You know, I try not to say this lightly because everyone you see, oh, that was the greatest play. I remember Christian Laettner watching that game. That was like the greatest play. I remember a 41-yard field goal in 1993 against Notre Dame Boston College. That was the greatest play. And then twice in 2 weeks, Auburn Tigers with the miraculous throw and then the kick six. I was flabbergasted. I will remember that. Alabama will remember that for the next 50 years.
You know what? I have to go with David Ortiz. I know every Yankee fan on the planet is going to hate me for saying it, but how often do you see a game turn around on a grand slam off the closer of the other team? And that's what David Ortiz does. He is, without question, the best clutch hitter in the league these days.
No way. I think that this award definitely should have gone to Auburn for this. The missed field goal returned 109 yards is insane. It was jaw-dropping. Every single person was shocked. You know what was even more interesting was that SportsCenter kept showing repeatedly people's reactions to this play.
Oh my God, they're going to win the football game.
The fact that they kept showing that, and I could watch that over and over again, it tells you how great this play was.
Honestly,
I like the Alabama fans' reactions.
Yeah.
It is the Elder Shuttlesworth because Auburn didn't need it. The Heat needed, I got to go Ray Ray.
Ooh, you know what? I got to agree with Nisa here. This was hands down the craziest play I've seen in sports all year. It could easily have been the what the fuck moment because I know about you guys, but when I'm watching, I'm going, what the did that just fucking happen? Are you kidding me? Unbelievable play.
Pittsburgh almost had a miraculous ending last week. That would have made the list.
Banned on the field.
Tom was on the wrong sideline.
Hey, Steve, you okay? No, Anthony, I'm not choking, but if I were, I would exhibit the same symptoms as the nominees for our Dry Fruit Cake Award for 2013's Biggest Choke in Sports.
Wichita State knocks off the #1 team in the country, and the Shockers dancing to the Sweet 16. Rebound tip, still loose, picked up by Miller. Back out to James, another three. It's good. Back out to Allen, his three-pointer. Tie game.
If this was a prize fight, they'd call it off.
Notre Dame right now just can't do anything right.
And the winner is the San Antonio Spurs.
Sorry, Nisa. The Heat didn't win. The Spurs lost. Up by 5 points, 2 minutes left. You have Manu Ginobili, a Hall of Famer at the foul line, 4-time MVP Tim Duncan, finals and MVP regular season included, and you find a way to lose. Hey, wait a minute, guys. LeBron James, he's a shooter.
You know, Nisa, I love you, but I got to agree with David here. To me, that is what happened in the closing moments of Game 6 is the very definition of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. The Spurs just flat out blew it.
Sure.
I agree with you about Game 6, but that doesn't change what happened in Game 7, where my Heat took over and justifiably are champions. That's all I'm saying.
I would have to give the award to Notre Dame because they had really a terrific season. And they just didn't show up. They had the toughest schedule in the country, being Michigan State, Michigan, Purdue, Miami, Stanford, Oklahoma, Pitt, and USC. That was a great year, and it was 42-14, and it wasn't even that close.
Nope.
Yeah, I have to give that to the Broncos. I mean, how do you blow a 24-0 lead? And come on, we're all tired of the New England Patriots. Can you guys win? You're supposed to be a championship caliber team. You don't lose a game like that.
As the saying goes, you can't keep a good man down.
And the nominees for our Frosty the Snowman Award for 2013's Best Comeback Player may have been down, but came back even stronger.
No timeouts for the Chargers. The Rivers goes for the big ball to a 0-2-2.
Big here with a four-man pass rush. Newton firing, and it's caught on the run again. Inside the 10. 10 again! Waits now 2-1 as the Bokov makes two
competitiveness coming into the Yankee game for the final time here in the Bronx. The 0-2. He got him and the Yankees win.
The winner is Mariano Rivera. In addition to winning this award, we would also like to present Mariano Rivera with On the Sportsline's first Lifetime Achievement Award. As a Yankee fan, I've had the privilege and the pleasure to watch Mariano Rivera up close and personal for his entire career. I knew when Enter Sandman began, the game was over. I could cite a litany of amazing stats, but even they can't truly tell the story of the greatest closer of all time and one of the greatest postseason players in baseball history.
Overpowering, fearless, dominating, courageous, intimidating, stealing nerve, or blessed with impeccable precision-like control. That's what every team hopes for when they are protecting a 1 or 2 run lead when their closer comes in with the game on the line. But while every team hopes for this, every time, nobody delivered it with seamless confidence like Mariano Rivera. This man was the ultimate lockdown closer. No one had his competitiveness, poise under pressure, or his unwavering assuredness in big spots. To me, his nickname should be Mr. Invincible. As a Mets fan, I always wished he were on our side.
You said that to me more than once over the years.
I certainly have.
He did it with class, dignity, and one singular pitch. He took teammates under his wing, knew everyone's name, and always had time for them. With the Sandman exiting, it's fitting that he is the last major leaguer that will ever wear number 42. There will never be another like Mariano Rivera.
There are certain rare moments in time that bind us all together. No one knows exactly how, where, or when they will happen, but they elicit the same response.
What the fuck just happened?
Here are 2013's Tofurkey nominees for the WTF Moment in Sports of 2013.
In an instant, at least half the stadium's lights tripped out.
Gardner, right side, it's intercepted. Makes the play, throw home, 2 out, over the third, it gets away. Alan Craig is going to come to the plate. Here's the throw, they're going to say he's safe. There was interference at third base.
In love with a woman he met online 4 years ago but never saw. A woman he thought died of cancer in September.
And the winner is
Super Bowl Blackout.
Okay, I know the Super Bowl blackout was crazy.
Yes, it was.
But Michigan, come on! I was watching, I knew as soon as they lined up to go for 2, I'm like, there is no way in hell that they are making this fucking 2-point conversion. There is no way. I was just shocked that they tried it. I mean, it was interesting.
But if they get it, it's the best call in the world.
No, they weren't going to get it. It's Michigan.
You know I'm a Michigan fan, so you know how painful it was for me, doubly so because it was against Ohio State.
Send it to overtime.
But I'm telling you, the blackout, for me, that could have easily been the most embarrassing moment. If you're Roger Goodell in the NFL, you should have been embarrassed. But to me, for pure WTF, it's got to be the World Series gaming on an interference call. If that doesn't scream WTF, I don't know what does.
Guys, we're not thinking big picture. When is the last time you remember an all-time great person in sports or any venue having a dead girlfriend that didn't exist? It's Manti Te'o.
Well, Jay, you know what? I'm going to also go with the World Series because I've never seen a World Series game end like that. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. And that series itself was really interesting in many ways.
Final observation, one thing I haven't been able to figure out quite yet. If you compare Manti Te'o to Jameis Winston, why has Manti Te'o got worse press than Jameis Winston?
These schools not only made the grade, they made the Dean's List, which is why we've nominated them for our Young Golden Drumstick Award, given to 2013's Best College Team.
What a marvelous year. But on this night, especially for Auburn.
And they will play for a 3rd national title. The Seminoles are 13-0 for the first time in school history.
And in the end, only one can be happy.
And in this case, it's the Louisville Cardinals.
Sometimes it's during the preseason in September when they're just working out on their own. You can just sense there's a focus there. And you know.
And the winner is Louisville.
You know what? I have to go with Florida State. I mean, first of all, Jameis Winston, I mean, we all know what his issues have been off the field, but how great a job has this guy done on the field? Their team plays great defense, but without Jameis Winston and the amazing passing that he's doing, and frankly, an NFL quarterback right now, as far as I'm concerned, if he left, he would be. Maybe in the lower rounds, but he would be.
I go for Auburn over Alabama because of Alabama's recent dominance over the entire college football landscape. They were 10-point underdogs. They came in there and they knocked the king off their perch, and now Auburn has to take it against Florida State.
I hear what you guys are saying, but I got to go with a team that's actually already won a championship. The Louisville Cardinals went into the NCAA tournament as the #1 overall seed, had the target on their back, and still, with a classic win over Michigan, and NCAA champs, gotta go with them.
No, that's a great talent. That's not a great team. And FSU, remember something. They faced Duke in the finals. I'm sorry, that wipes it off the board for me.
Well, that big win over Clemson, too, was very impressive.
No, I agree with Jay. Louisville deserves this win, definitely. They just played so solidly the whole Final Four. So
sure.
The season is long. You will get injuries, you will get tired, and you will have lots of ups and lots of downs along the way. One week you're a contender, and the next week you're pitiful. Why do they put themselves through this? One word: championship. The nominees for our Golden Drumstick Award for Best Team of 2013 are glad they went through the grind.
The Blackhawks have snatched victory from the hands of defeat. Chicago has won the Stanley Cup.
What a finish. It's back-to-back titles for the Heat. The 2013 NBA championship resides once again in Miami.
And the Baltimore Ravens have captured Super Bowl 47 as Joe Flacco. And the Ravens are victorious.
And the winner is the Boston Red Sox.
Okay, greatest characters, Miami Heat. We know that. Greatest team, you're going to have to go with the Boston Red Sox. What they did for that city, that state, and ultimately this country in resurrecting a spirit that only Boston knows is what makes them the best team.
Boston's strong.
I like that.
I got to agree with Dave. Here's, guys, for me, here's the ironic thing. The Red Sox win this award for best team, but the guy who led them to this title doesn't win for best head man. I know I said it during that segment, but it still bothers me, and I'm a Yankee fan, and I'm rooting for a Red Sox guys. What's wrong with this universe?
First of all, every Red Sox fan should be thrilled that Bobby Valentine is not associated with any of this all this season. The Red Sox did an incredible job going from worst to first. I've never seen a team play that well and get to that level that quickly. Congratulations to them.
When Bobby Valentine was run out of town here in New York with the Mets, I used to say Bobby Valentine was not the problem with that team. With Boston, he clearly was. And they have the best stadium in baseball, so I'm going with them.
Well, I can't give an award to a Boston team without throwing up on this set. So I'm going to say my Miami Heat deserve to win this award.
Of course you do.
Of course you would.
Shock of all shocks.
They're worthy.
In professional sports, there are players that always have all eyes on them. The other team knows they have to stop them, but they are unstoppable. That's why they are our nominees for our Golden Drumstick Award for 2013's Best Athlete.
James on the drive! Oh, what a block from James!
Winston on second down. Winston looking for O'Leary.
Going to the end zone, and Benjamin is wide open.
Onto the track, at the wall, it is gone!
Blew away the field en route to an American League Most Valuable Player Award.
And McCutcheon follows with a drive to left center field.
And the winner is LeBron James. Yes, I fully support this win. LeBron. I mean, and can we please finally have everyone get off his back now? I think finally it's going in that direction, except for Cleveland Cavaliers fans who I still say are allowed to hold their grudge. Anyone else, get over it. He's a good man and he's a good player. Leave it alone.
I honestly, I can't argue against LeBron winning this award considering it's 2 years in a row, but I'm just happy that a guy I've been talking up for the last 2 years, Andrew McCutchen, finally gets some props and is nominated for this award.
Oh, please. That's like comparing a universe with a solar system. LeBron James had a triple-double in Game 6. He went for 37 in Game 7. He went 15 for 16 from the line in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. It has to be Mr. King himself.
I give it to Trey Mason for running 300 yards against Alabama.
Ooh. Well, I got to give it to Andrew McCutchen also, because without him, Pirates wouldn't have been resurrected. He brought them up literally from the dead.
Before we leave you tonight, we'd each like to raise a glass in honor of some special sports accomplishments from 2013. Sean, first toast is yours.
My New Year's toast goes to Auburn football coach Gus Malzahn. Feel-good story of the year. Coaching darn good high school programs is where most of his experience lies, changing the face of offense in the state of Arkansas. And this year, that turnaround, 0-8 in the SEC West to winning the whole thing. And somebody has to take responsibility for those 2 miraculous game-ending plays against Georgia and in the Iron Bowl. If you think about it, just keeping it close to Alabama was surely attributable to the coach. So to Gus, here's my toast. Happy New Year's.
Back in the early 80s, there was a third base hotshot prospect tabbed to be the next George Brett, displaying his baseball prowess on the Kauffman Stadium grounds, landing a Sports Illustrated front cover. While his 13-year career was never as prominent as expected, he's become a positive and successful manager. That man is Clint Hurdle. His ebullient attitude, intelligence, and ability to relate to players is why he's the 2013 National League Manager of the Year. He raised the horizons of the Pittsburgh Pirates and put them back in the playoffs after 21 long years. Raise a glass for the Pirates and Hurdle for more years like this, and to win their next championship ring.
Do something once and it's an anomaly. A fluke that generates Facebook posts and Twitter hashtags for a while, and then we move on. This applies to sports as well as any other part of society in the age of social media. But do the same thing 2 years in a row, and I just have to raise a glass to toast the accomplishment. That's why this year, my holiday toast goes to Jack Taylor, a guard at Division III Grinnell College. Last November, he scored 138 points in a game. And this November, he did it again, scoring 109. Even the legendary Wilt Chamberlain only managed to hit the century mark once. Congratulations, Jack.
Brandon Seiler, most people have not heard of your name. You were one of the best friends of Javon Belcher, the Kansas City Chief linebacker, who unfortunately took his life prematurely and killed his girlfriend. Here's what we know. Tragedy often brings out the best of people. In this case, it did. You endured an awful situation, and you were able to turn it around and make a new life for yourself. You had your first start last season on December. You would never play another down. Now, we know that you took the time after your NFL career to get a real estate license. You're 1 semester away from completing your degree, and you're going to be a law student.
My holiday toast goes to the Miami Heat for repeating as NBA champions and for that incredible 27-game winning streak. It was an exhilarating finals that had basketball fans on the edges of their seats. The Heat went up against one of the NBA's premier dynasties and pulled off the victory. They did have some divine intervention in Game 6 with Tim Duncan's inexplicable missed layup and Ray Allen's and LeBron's miraculous three-pointers. But they really showed what they were made of in Game 7. Guess what, Spurs? There's a new dynasty in town. Congratulations, Miami. Now let's go for that three-peat. For Jay Kaplan, Steve Ferguson, Dave Shepard, and Sean Roman, I'm Nisa Petrilli. Thanks for spending part of your evening and all of 2013 with us. We look forward to spending 2014 with you. We'll see you on Thursday, January 9th for another edition of On the Sports Lines. Remember, if you want to see this show again or catch up on any of the ones you might have missed, check us out at youtube.com/onthesportslines and keep sending those emails to fanspeak@onthesportslines.com. Check out our blog at onthesportslines.blogspot.com and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/onthesportslines and on Twitter at onthesportslines. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!